Hello, friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Juicebox Podcast. Kimberly is from Calgary. She's had type 1 diabetes since she was 2.5 years old, and today she's 44. Kim's children inspired her to go on a pump, and today we're going to talk to her about her life, her diabetes, and her family. Nothing you hear on the Juicebox Podcast should be considered advice, medical or otherwise. Always consult a physician before making any changes to your healthcare plan. Don't forget to save 40% off of your entire order at CozyEarth.com. All you have to do is use the offer code JUICEBOX at checkout. That's JUICEBOX at checkout to save 40% at CozyEarth.com. And if you have type 1 diabetes, are the caregiver of someone with type 1, and you live in the United States, that's either or, but that one for sure, go to t1dexchange.org/juicebox and complete the survey. I don't even know if that was clear. You have to have type 1, be the caregiver for someone with type 1, also live in the U.S. t1dexchange.org/juicebox. Help propel type 1 diabetes research forward by answering a few questions in their survey. t1dexchange.org/juicebox. This episode of the Juicebox Podcast is sponsored by US Med. usmed.com/juicebox or call 888-721-1514. Get your supplies the same way we do from US Med. This show is sponsored today by the glucagon that my daughter carries, Gvoke HypoPen. Find out more at gvokeglucagon.com/juicebox. I was looking for a way that we could all get nice and tan and meet each other and spend some time talking about diabetes. How are we going to do that? On a Juice Cruise. Juice Cruise 2025 departs Galveston, Texas on Monday, June 23rd, 2025. It's a 5-night trip through the Western Caribbean, visiting, of course, Galveston, Costa Maya, and Cozumel. So if you're looking for a nice adult or family vacation, you want to meet your favorite podcast host, but you can't figure out where Jason Bateman lives, so you'll settle for me. If you want to talk about diabetes, or you know what? Maybe you want to meet some people living with type 1, or just get a tan with a bunch of cool people. You can do that on Juice Cruise 2025. Space is limited. Head now to juiceboxpodcast.com and click on that banner. You can find out all about the different cabins that are available to you and register today. Links in the show notes. Links at juiceboxpodcast.com. I hope to see you on board.
My name's Kimberly Gray, and I'm from Airdrie, Alberta, Canada. I'm married to Darcy for 24 years this year, and we have 2 girls, Mackenzie, who's 21, and Courtney, who's 17.
Wow. How old are you, Kimberly? How old are you?
44.
44. Wow, you've been going hard from the beginning. Seriously?
Some people say that, yeah.
You sound as Canadian as anyone has ever sounded to me in their entire life. I just want you to know that.
Well, that's a good thing, I guess, since I am.
Absolutely. It absolutely is.
So we're like 20 minutes out of Calgary. So I know you know where Calgary is because of the Flames. So we're about 20 minutes north of there.
You think I know where Calgary is? That's sweet.
I've heard you say that on a podcast a couple weeks ago.
So here's the problem. I only know things in short bursts, and then I forget a lot of them. My wife says, so we played this game last night. My wife and I got in bed. And we did not play the game you're thinking. We played a different game where she brought up a television show that we watch religiously together. And she's like, go ahead and tell me the characters' names. And I'm like, well, there's the little Spanish girl. And she goes, what's her name? And I'm like, I don't know. And then I'm like, and then there's the girl with the wide hips. And she goes, and her name is? And I'm like, no idea. And she goes, what about the lead guy? And I was like, I'm not sure. I've been watching the show for 6 years. I don't know the characters' names at all. It's meaningless to me. I don't know how to explain that to you about me. So we drilled down a little bit, and I did start coming up with a couple of names. And I was like, is that one Tim? And she goes, very good. And I was like, what's his last name? I'm like, oh my God, his last name. How am I supposed to know that? That was my answer. I was like, how am I supposed to know that? What makes you come on the podcast? What made you interested?
I started listening to it last year, and I just got hooked on it right away. I'm up to episode 3.
Oh, Kimberly,
300, I think.
Are you listening just straight through? Very cool.
Yes. But I love it. It's so good. The first one or the second, wherever the Everest one was, it hooked me right from there. It was so interesting and so cool, and I just wanted to come on and share my experience.
Cool. I appreciate that. You talking about the mom who talked about her daughter's time on Mount Everest?
Yes. That one was fascinating.
Okay. Very nice. That was pretty early on. The way the podcast started was weird because before I actually could get up an episode, I got an interview. And I genuinely did not know what I was doing. I've never listened back to that one. Maybe I should. That might be fun. But yeah, the first one that went up was with this guy that was at that time on American Idol and had type 1 diabetes. And podcasts were such a new idea back then that I just sent him an email and I was like, hey, I have a diabetes podcast. Do you want to be on it? And he was like, yeah. I didn't tell him I had never actually put up an episode before. So Adam Lash.
He was your test dummy.
And he was terrific, by the way. It was great.
I remember that one too.
It's a weird start to the show, though, because like the next number of episodes are all like me talking about management by myself. Anyway, I just remember it as being very strange. Like I was getting ready to put up this other episode and suddenly I was interviewing somebody I'd never done it before. Nevertheless. Okay. So who's got diabetes in your little group over there?
Me, myself, and I.
You do. Not the girls?
No, none of the girls. They've both had the nut trial done and they've both been negative so far.
Oh, you did trial net for both of them?
Oh, yeah, trial net. Sorry, I said net file, but yeah, trial net.
Net trial net. I understood what you meant.
Same thing.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Well, so how long ago were you diagnosed?
When I was 2.5.
Oh my gosh. That was a while ago.
42 years ago, yeah.
42 years ago when you were 2.5. Did you have brothers and sisters?
I have a brother, yeah.
Does he have any autoimmune stuff?
No, he's good. He's clear.
And if you're in Canada 40 some years ago, what was your management like?
What I can remember of it was like a lot of the, the exchanges, where if you want to eat this, then you can't eat that. And if you want more of this, then you have to take that out. So I remember that part of it. And I remember I had like a big brown meter. I remember that from back then.
Okay.
But that's about it because I was so young, right?
Yeah. When's the first time you really start having like a conscious memory of you managing it yourself?
I'd say likely around 1989 after my second year of going to camp.
Okay. How old were you then?
I would have been 9.
9. Okay.
Yeah. Just not completely managing, but I've started to be able to do my own injections. They had this thing at the camp called an injectees that would hide the needle because I'm definitely afraid of needles. I'm terrified of them.
Really?
Yeah, so I don't use them. I wouldn't it's the syringe that I'm terrified of. So if it was like a pen, I was fine because it wasn't the syringe. And like if I could hide it in the injectees, I was fine because I couldn't see the syringe.
But the minute you see the metal, that you're not okay with.
No, I'm not. It kind of creeps me out a lot.
What happens to you? Do you get weird inside? Like, do you feel nauseous or?
It's just panic. My first time that I had to have blood drawn was extremely traumatic. I got post-PTSD from it. So that kind of led down this path of being horribly afraid of needles since then.
How old do you think you were when you had the bad experience with the blood draw?
Oh, about six-ish.
Yeah, that's not a good age for that to happen. I had a blood draw the other day, and the girl was a genius. Like, she just slipped that thing in there, and I was like, get out of here. That's it? Way to go. Like, you wanted to leave her, like, there should be a tip jar on phlebotomists' desks.
Oh, that's a good idea.
It's not a bad idea at all. Although, quickly, they would learn who does well and who doesn't, because I would have happily, like, given her $5 on the way out the door. Like, she just, like, man, it was easy. So you had a bad experience, and it stuck with you, though.
Yeah, like the chair, I can't sit in the chair if I go to get blood drawn. I have to lie down because the chair just freaks me out. I can't even walk into a room where there's one of those chairs.
Where you can put your arm on either side on the flat little panel?
Yeah. No, thank you.
To this day?
Yeah. I have to lie down.
Do you have any other not odd, but any other like significant reactions to other things in your life that have hung on to you?
No, that's it. Just the terrible fear of needles and blood draws and that kind of stuff.
How about that? It's really something. Arden does not like it either.
It's the worst.
Yeah, she's overcoming it, but she's not a fan.
And like my husband literally has to hold my hand while I'm getting it done.
Aw, it's nice.
He's a good person.
Is that like date night for you guys? You go get a blood draw?
Not really date night. It's date day.
Date day. Let's go out for lunch and get my blood done. You can hold my hand. That's nice. How about your girls? Do they have any problems with the needles? If you take insulin or sulfonylureas, you are at risk for your blood sugar going too low. You need a safety net when it matters most. Be ready with Gvoke HypoPen. My daughter carries Gvoke HypoPen everywhere she goes because it's a ready-to-use rescue pen for treating very low blood sugar in people with diabetes ages 2 and above that I trust. Low blood sugar emergencies can happen unexpectedly, and they demand quick action. Luckily, Gvoke HypoPen can be administered in 2 simple steps, even by yourself in certain situations. Show those around you where you store Gvoke HypoPen and how to use it. They need to know how to use Gvoke HypoPen before an emergency situation happens. Learn more about why Gvoke HypoPen is in Arden's Diabetes Toolkit at gvokeglucagon.com/juicebox. Gvoke shouldn't be used if you have a tumor in the gland on the top of your kidneys called a pheochromocytoma, or if you have a tumor in your pancreas called an insulinoma. Visit gvokeglucagon.com/risk for safety information. Diabetes comes with a lot of things to remember, so it's nice when someone takes something off of your plate. US Med has done that for us. When it's time for Arden's supplies to be refreshed, we get an email. Rolls up and in your inbox says, "Hi Arden, this is your friendly reorder email from US Med." You open up the email, it's a big button that says, "Click here to reorder," and you're done. Finally, somebody taking away a responsibility instead of adding one. US Med has done that for us. An email arrives, we click on a link, and the next thing you know, your products are at the front door. That simple. usmed.com/juicebox or call 888-721-1514. I never have to wonder if Arden has enough supplies. I click on one link, I open up a box, I put the stuff in the drawer, and we're done. US Med carries everything from insulin pumps and diabetes testing supplies to the latest CGMs like the Libre 3 and the Dexcom G7. They accept Medicare nationwide, over 800 private insurers, and all you have to do to get started is call 888-721-1514 or go to my link, usmed.com/juicebox. Using that number or my link helps to support the production of the Juicebox podcast.
No, actually, Mackenzie's a nurse. She's up in Stettler, which is 2.5 hours away, and she's loving it up there. She can do pretty much everything. And Courtney's just finishing her last year of high school, so she's got no fear of anything. She can go get her blood drawn, and it doesn't bother her at all.
Is Mackenzie named after that very famous Canadian movie?
No, Mackenzie's named after Ruthie in Seventh Heaven.
Really?
Yes, because her real name is Mackenzie, and yeah, that's how she got her name.
What movie am I thinking of with Bob and Doug Mackenzie? Wait a minute.
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh my God, you don't know? How much younger are you than me? Like 8-9 years? Hold on a second.
Maybe.
This is upsetting because you're Canadian. Let's figure this out. It was about
Bob
beer. It was a yeah. What was it called? It was about beer. What was that called? I think it was an SCTV skit, and then it was a movie eventually. Bob and Doug Mackenzie. But then what was the movie called? And they were like, "Take off, eh?" And then like, what the hell was? Why can't I find out what the hell the movie was called? This is ridiculous. I have the internet in front of me. Hold on. Come on, internet. Strange Brew. You don't know this movie?
No, never heard of it.
Rick Moranis. And who is the other guy? Dave Thomas. Neither of these names strike a chord with you?
Rick Moranis, you know him from Ghostbusters, but...
Yeah. At some point in this conversation, will you please say, oh, yeah, at the end of one of your sentences?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Wow. Yeah. All right. Well, everybody, Strange Brew, probably not a good movie. just a movie I remember from my childhood, I guess. Okay, fine. Look at me. My references are getting too old. Towards the end of the episode, we'll talk about the Kardashian woman taking out her butt implants, and we'll modernize the whole thing. So you have any other autoimmune stuff?
I have the markers for celiac, the blood markers, but they haven't done the scope yet. So, but it's likely going to come back positive when they do it.
Do you avoid any foods?
I try to eat gluten-free as much as I can, but, I ate gluten for, right up to last year. So it's still kind of hard, like when we go out for dinner or something and the kids and Darcy wants a burger, it's like, yeah, let's just go to the burger joint. I'll have a burger. I'll be sick tonight. Well, whoop-de-doo.
What kind of sick? What are we talking about here?
Stomach, diarrhea. I get heartburn sometimes from it and indigestion. So,
is the burger that good?
Five Guys burgers, yes.
Okay,
totally worth it.
Because when you're eating, are you thinking like, I'm going to have diarrhea later?
No.
Oh, I would be thinking
how this burger is awesome, and I'm glad I took it and ate it.
How is your health generally? Do you have problems with nutrition, like your body absorbing nutrition or weight or anything like that?
No, I'm pretty good with that. My doctor started me on Ozempic just to try and help control sugars a little bit. So I lost 50 pounds last year.
Wow. Get out of here.
I was happy with it.
I've lost 50 pounds with a GLP. That's my number 2.
Good for you.
Yeah. How did it impact your insulin needs?
They went down. They went down quite a bit.
Yeah, I would imagine. So it's interesting because you're listening to the podcast from the beginning to the end. Like it could take you a year or more to get to the part where I'm using Ozempic. Or I started with Wegovy and I'm using Zepbound now. But you'll also eventually hear episodes with other people who are having the same exact experience you did. Took a GLP, insulin needs went way down. It didn't change your digestion at all, though, with the bread, for example.
No.
No.
I don't eat bread very much because I hate bread. I ate too much of it when I was younger.
Okay. You're all breaded out.
So I try and stay away about it.
I feel like it's upsetting to say you don't like bread, but the other day I took a piece.
Sorry.
No, I took a piece of bread and I put a little butter on it and some some salt, like just a sprinkle of like something, like a pink salt, perhaps it was. It's the best part of my day. So tell me a little bit about.
I eat a lot of fruit and like vegetables and that kind of stuff. Meat. I love meat, and it's just the starchy stuff. I try like potatoes, a lot of rice. If we make spaghetti, like we'll make a pot of regular spaghetti for them, and then I'll make a little pot of gluten-free spaghetti for myself. And
gluten-free spaghetti.
Like I'm not totally strict on it. Like I'm not one of those people that, oh no, my tongs touch the regular spaghetti and now they're touching the gluten-free spaghetti. I don't freak out about it like that. We got to live our lives too. So
what would happen if you got to the doctor after this and they give you the scope, right? And then they say to you, listen, you have like damage in there and you got to be gluten-free from now on. And they're going to give you the talk about how eating gluten when you have celiac could lead to some kinds of cancer. They're going to get that whole talk. Like after that, would you be like, all right, fine, I won't do it anymore? Or do you think you'd be like, I might have a cheeseburger once in a while?
I think I'm going to have a cheeseburger every now and then. I've lived this long. It's not, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
Kimberly, is this enough? Have you had enough of life? Are you like,
not that. It's just that if my kids want to go out and have a burger, I'm going to go out and enjoy myself with them.
Okay. You can't just take the bun off and eat it?
No, gross.
I gotcha. All right.
You got to eat a burger as a burger. Like a burger's a burger.
Listen, I'm not arguing with you. I'm just trying to get your input. That's all. I can't do the grease anymore. Even Five Guys, it's all too much for me. I don't like grease. That's been my thing for the last couple of years. I cut out a lot of different oils And anymore, Kelly got fries the other day and I took 2 of them. And as I was chewing them, I thought, oh, why am I doing this? Like all I could taste was like the grease that was in them. I don't know what happened to me.
Yeah.
I still love French fries. So maybe celiac coming, definitely type 1. Anything else?
No, other than that, I'm good.
Okay. No thyroid.
Nope.
No.
Thyroid's good.
Raynaud's.
What?
Your hands cold all the time. Your feet cold.
No, that's good. I got a little bit of neuropathy in my feet, but for being 42 years, and that's the worst thing, I'm okay with that too.
Feeling okay with it. When did your management change? Like, because you said you started Exchange Diet 42 years ago. You might have been using animal insulin, right? Like beef and pork, and then.
No, I think it was NPH in Toronto.
Okay, so you started with the NPH, and when did you go to faster acting? When did you go to like, I don't know, Humalog or Lantus or something like that?
I don't think any of that until I was actually pregnant with Mackenzie.
Really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
I had the same, like, I didn't have good doctors at all until I was about 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't help with anything. My experiences at the hospital were horrible. Like, it was just, yeah. And then, sorry, go.
I want to know about it. Like, so like because you're basically discussing like from 2 years old to 30 years old, nobody was really helping. So, and you were just doing, were you still doing Exchange up until then?
I don't know when the exchanges quit. I think I just started eating regular, like just eating.
And then
I had a sliding scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something else. Wow. So what are some of the places looking back that you were let down by your doctors?
Definitely management. Definitely explaining. Like when I got old enough to understand, they still didn't explain anything. And like, this was before the internet. So I just couldn't go on the internet and say, hey, please explain to me what's going on or anything. Just like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It was just bad experiences and no one really looking after me. It was more looking after the numbers.
Right. Did you feel alone? Like, where did that leave you?
I was very alone. My childhood, I was alone. I had a hard time making friends. They thought I was weird. I was odd. There was something wrong with me.
Because of the diabetes?
Yep. Yeah. I can remember going to school one year, the very first day, one of the kids there said to me, hey, Kimberly, do you still need to eat snacks all the time? And it was right in the middle of a big group of kids and they all started giggling and laughing. And yeah, I had a rough childhood because I was like the only one in the school district out here
that had it. And you'd get low. Yeah. You get low sometimes, have to eat something. And that's what they made fun of you for? Snacks?
Yeah, because they didn't understand.
You should have given us some of those snacks. I might have calmed them right down. You know what I mean?
For snacking and stuff during school, I would have to go down to the office. I couldn't just stay in the classroom and have my little juice box. I actually physically had to get up and go down to the office.
Oh, okay. So it separated you from everybody, made you seem different, and then shuttled you off somewhere else. And yeah, boy, that sucks. Kids suck.
And like back then, we didn't have the teacher's aides, like the 504 plans.
Sure.
I never heard of one of those until I started listening to you. So I had no teacher's aide, no school nurse. I was actually sent home in a snowstorm once, so low that my mother found me in a snowbank around the corner, passed out.
No, really?
Because the teachers had no idea. I was trying to put my mittens on my feet and it didn't clue into them that there was something wrong. They just sent me out the door.
So they saw a little girl putting mittens on her feet and they kicked her out into the Canadian tundra?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then the ambulance came and got me and took me to the hospital. And when the ambulance came back, the drivers actually went to the school and gave the teacher what for.
Do you ever wonder how we made it this far? Because I do.
I do sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, as a population of like, how did someone see that and just go, kid's probably not having a stroke. We'll just send her outside, like into a significant storm, right?
And it's not as if I was walking down the back alley or anything. I was walking down drag. Like I could walk into the middle of the street.
You were just walking down the middle of the street.
Well, I could have been.
Yeah, they wouldn't have known.
It was a main drag road, so I could have taken off into the middle of the street and they would have never known.
Well, that's crazy. So when you say you're walking down the main drag, like, what am I imagining? Northern exposure, or no, not that rural?
No, not that rural. Close though. How would you explain? Just like a main street on your boulevard, right?
Yeah. But like the kind of place where a moose could wander down through town, or no?
We have had moose here, so sure it could happen.
That could happen.
I was actually getting up to drive to work the other day, and I drove down my back alley, and there's apartments at the end of the alleyway here, and there was a deer just wandering into the farmer's field behind the house here.
You said farmer field, and I thought for sure you were going to say pharmacy. I thought you were going to say the deer just wandered into the pharmacy. Well, yeah. I mean, listen, you live on an ice shelf, I imagine, right? So polar bears, that kind of stuff. Not quite.
I don't have polar bears. Winnipeg has the polar bears. I'm Alberta.
That's great.
We have gophers.
Gophers that go through the snow?
Sometimes, yeah.
When it snows there in the wintertime, what do you get? A foot?
No, well, what's a foot in centimeters? Like, get 10 centimeters today.
10 centimeters? 10 centimeters is only like basically a third of a foot.
Oh, well then.
Okay. It's not a lot of snow then.
Well, not right now, no.
Okay.
It's a spring snowstorm. Nothing serious.
What about in the heart of the winter though? When you get hit, is it a lot?
It could be. We can get up to 30 centimeters.
Like a foot? Yeah, that's a foot. My God.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Jesus. Whew.
But we get the cold temperatures. Like we get the -40, -50.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
Yes.
Can I ask a sincere question?
Okay.
Why don't you move? like go somewhere else. It's just very cold.
Because I've lived here all my life and I'll never leave.
It's not a thing you think of. Like when it's -40, which I don't know what that is Fahrenheit. Like I don't have time to figure it out. But like when that happens, you're not like, oh my God, it's so cold outside, I'm going to die. Or like I have to stay indoors for 2 months at a time, or like none of that happens. You just live your life.
Just go on living.
Really?
Complain. Yeah, but just keep on going. What can you do? It's part of the seasons here.
Has snot ever frozen to your face?
I don't think so, no.
Have you ever seen snot frozen in a man's mustache or beard?
I think my husband's before, yes.
Mm-hmm. And they don't even know it's there, right?
They don't.
That's how cold it is. Do you ice fish, or have you?
No.
Do you know people who do?
No, I don't think I do.
You don't have a lake around there? No.
We have a couple, but none that freeze like for that kind of
thing.
Activity.
No kidding.
No.
Well, that's very interesting. I'm sorry. I'm mesmerized by that. I would leave immediately. I would tell everybody, I love you all. I'm moving somewhere south. You can come or you don't. Doesn't matter to me, but I'm selling all this stuff and I'm getting out of here. And then I would go somewhere where it would never be negative anything ever again in my life. I God bless you. I don't even know how you do it. I would listen. I want to be clear. If it was -40, whether it's Fahrenheit or Celsius, I don't even care. And I had to go somewhere, I would bitch for about an hour and a half before I left. As soon as the door opened, you would hear me go, oh, like that. That's the first noise I would make. And then I would go outside. I would complain the entire way I was outside. Oh my God, you'd never hear the end of it.
The worst part is brushing the vehicles off when you have to go out or go to work. That's the worst part.
How's that even going to happen? It's so cold, we probably can't even get it off.
Oh yeah, because the scrapers will get it off, but it's damn cold standing out there doing it.
Yeah, no kidding. Nah, again, I'd consider leaving. But you love it there? You think it's terrific, huh?
Oh, I love it here. I'll be here forever, like I said. So
amazing.
It's a little city. I've grown up here.
I'm amazed. Don't worry. I mean, like in a nice way. Like, I think it's nice. You would hear me complaining miles away, kilometers, I'm sorry, away. I'd be complaining. You'd hear me. You'd be like, what's that noise? I think that's Scott bitching about how cold it is outside. God.
Quite possibly, yes.
So when you get to 30 and you have a change in your management style, what precipitates that? Like, what makes you finally look for more information or shift or whatever?
Wanting to be around for my girls and start learning, and I don't want to hide anymore. I want to be able to be like, yes, this is me. This is what I have. It doesn't make me a bad person. No. And I'm learning to accept it.
You felt that way for a long time though?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you crying?
No, I just have a cold nose because I'm sitting in the cold car.
Oh yeah. Because your husband's sleeping and you're afraid if you talk, the dogs will bark and wake up your husband.
Exactly.
Yeah. I appreciate this. How cold is it right now where you are?
0.
Wait, it's April. Like it's still that cold. Oh my! It was 78 degrees here yesterday. I don't know how to tell you how warm that is. Hold on a second. 78 degrees Fahrenheit in Celsius. 25.5 yesterday here. I swear to God, you got to leave. Oh, no. Does it get humid there in the summertime?
Yes, it can. Yeah.
Oh my God! Then what's the benefit of living there?
And muggy.
Muggy.
Ugh. Yes.
You're upsetting me. Like I gotta deal with sub temperatures, and it's gonna be humid in the summer.
Yes.
And a moose might walk down the street.
Quite possibly, yes.
Oh my God.
And the coyotes might jump the fence from the farmer's field and attack your dog.
What the hell?
You never know.
What is this, an episode of The Walking Dead? What do you have going on there? Oh my gosh. Okay. All right.
We back right onto a farmer's field and you can hear the coyotes howling in the night.
Yeah. But you have a car, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You should try driving south till it warms up. I'm telling you. I want to dig more into this idea about like being around for your kids. So do you mean to tell me that for the first 28 years of about time of your life with diabetes, you felt so badly about yourself, likely because of the way you grew up with it, that you couldn't bring yourself to tell people you had diabetes or even ask for help? And then it occurred to you one day, I'm not going to live a long, healthy life if I don't do something?
Yes. And that's when I went on a pump is then.
That got you to an insulin pump. Okay.
Yeah. I would always tell the doctor, because she would ask me, do you want to go on a pump? Do you want to go on a pump? And I'm like, no, I don't. I want you to give them to the kids. Like in general, the kids. So they don't have to live the life that I live. Like,
Kimberly, did you think there was a limited amount of insulin pumps available?
I didn't know.
Oh, they'll make enough.
Remember, I wasn't educated very well.
Wait, why were you not educated very well? Because you were constantly at the office?
About the slides and diabetes and everything.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't very educated.
But the doctor never said to you, Kimberly, honey, I got enough for everybody. Are you sure you really wanted the kids to have it, or you just were looking for an excuse not to do something new?
I wanted to be sure that they were looked after and they got an opportunity to have it. And like, I'm not talking my kids, like, they don't need it, but like just the kids in general in the world, that it was more important for them to have it and live a better life than what I had than for me to have it.
Yeah, I mean, it's upsetting that a doctor wouldn't tell you it doesn't work that way. You can have one and they can have one.
Yeah.
And the same doctor for all those years?
This was like just my GP, general doctor.
Okay. Oh, so you weren't even seeing somebody specifically for diabetes?
No. I had not seen an endocrinologist until about 2008 was the first time I saw an endocrinologist.
Really? Why do you think that happened?
Just the communication got broke down, I'm guessing. I didn't know any better.
Interesting. And did you feel like you were doing well, or did you actually think you weren't doing well, but you just didn't pay attention to that part of it?
I think I was doing okay. Like, I wasn't perfect by any means. My endocrinologist I have now went back to, I think it was 2008, and pulled up my A1Cs, and they ranged from 8.0 down to right now, which is a 5.9. So it wasn't horrible. Like I wasn't in double digits by any means, but.
No. Was there a lot of variability? Was there up and down with your blood sugars?
Yes.
There was.
I was quite brittle, I guess you could say. Like they couldn't use a lot of Toronto insulin on me or I would drop very, very quickly.
Okay. What about nowadays? What's your management style now? What are you using?
I have a tandem pump. Sorry, Omnipod, but
it's okay.
I did have an Omnipod for 10 years. The upgrades and the renewal and that kind of stuff, like the Omnipod 5, we couldn't get it here for years still. Like it just got approved this year.
Yeah.
And the technology in the tandem was more what I was looking for than in the Dash. Like I got a Dash and I did not like it at all for some reason. I didn't like it.
Hey, listen, you don't have to apologize for finding whatever works for you. That's fantastic. If you've got something that you like, that's great. Are you using like Control IQ?
Yes. And I got a CGM. Yeah.
So you have a G6 or a Libre?
Yeah.
G6.
No, G6.
Okay.
I did the Libre. I didn't like the Libre either. It wasn't what I wanted. So
why? What's the difference for you between the Dexcom and the Libre?
The Dexcom at least brings the numbers up right away. Libre, you have to scan it.
Oh, so you had Libre back when it had to be scanned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's like that anymore.
Oh, maybe not.
You'll never know. How are they going to like...
That's right.
Yeah. No one's going to tell you in Calgary. Now you're using an algorithm. Do you still think of yourself as like difficult to manage with insulin, or is that all become more stable?
More stable, but I still have kinks to work out every now and then, and just like everybody, and I can't be perfect. I know I try to be perfect, but I cannot be. I tend to have number anxiety. When I see numbers that I don't think are right, I kind of like, get it down. Yeah. My educator kind of told me that I had to up my high alert because it was too low. She said to me, why in the world do you have it that low? I'm like, so I can catch it faster.
Yeah. Where was it set at?
It was set at a 7.7.
Why? Well, I don't understand. Did you move it or did you tell her I'm having good luck? Why would you ask me to change this?
I moved it up to an 8.5, which is a 154 for you guys.
Why did you do that? Like, did you have a problem with it?
I didn't have a problem with it, but I was getting to the point that I was getting too focused on the numbers and it was taking away from family time and stuff like that. So she said it would be a very good idea for me mentally to move it up a little bit.
Okay. Has it helped?
Yeah. She wanted me to move it up to a 10 and I was like, no, that's too far. So I moved it to an 8.5.
Wait, what is wrong with what? All right. Is this an endocrinologist?
No, it's just my educator.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. So you have a...
No. She's really amazing. She's very amazing.
Is she? Okay. I mean, what was your A1C before that?
The last one that I just got was a 5.9.
Is it rising now that you changed the alarms?
I don't know. I don't go till May to get my next one done.
Oh, you have a G6. Do you have Clarity set up? It would tell you what
yeah.
Wait a minute. You sound very excited. It did go
up a little bit, but I've got it down again.
By paying more attention to it?
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, yeah. I know.
Okay. It doesn't make... Are you a people pleaser?
I try to be.
Oh, you try to be a people pleaser?
I was a suck up in high school, so yeah, maybe.
Wait. You were a a what?
A suck up, like a teacher's pet in high school.
I thought for sure she didn't say suck up. I thought I misheard you. You were happy with where your alarm was set. The doctor told you to move it because it would help you to not pay as close attention to your diabetes, which is not helping you with that because you are still paying closer attention to diabetes to get your number back to where you wanted it. So why would you not put the alarm back to where you wanted it?
I might get there eventually.
What's stopping you?
Not wanting to make Chelsea mad.
Is Chelsea your educator?
Yes.
Is she listening?
She could be.
Chelsea.
She said she was going to listen to my episode.
Oh, Chelsea, listen, this is what we got going on here. Kimberly is stuck between a rock and a hard place, okay? She wants a low stable A1C. She doesn't want to be burned out. And at the same time, if you put up her alarm, she's just going to think about it anyway, right?
Yeah.
So wouldn't it make sense to spend the time together figuring out how to stop that alarm from beeping instead of just pushing it up so that it beeps later and then makes you go crazy because the blood sugar is more like 180 or whatever?
That's the thing. If you don't catch it fast enough, it ends up going sky high.
Where did you learn that?
Where did I learn that? From you.
Yeah. Okay. So let's figure out, why are you seeing excursions that are going up? Are you pre-bolusing your meals? Are you like, what do you think is causing that?
I think sometimes it's just the carb counts aren't dead on.
Okay. And then do you wait for the algorithm to bring it down, or do you bolus again?
If I see that it's going up too much, I'll do it. I'll bolus it again.
Otherwise, you're happy to let the algorithm work? If it's like maybe more like 140 or something like that?
Like right now, I'm at a 10.3, so I'll hit that and bring it down here when we're done.
Okay.
So, because it's going up too. But I think that's likely going up because of
adrenaline,
nervous and adrenaline and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So.
Plus fight or flight because you're freezing to death in your car. Are you in a garage?
No, I'm out in the open air.
No, wait, you're in it. So, oh my God, Kimberly, I can't be responsible for your death. So you're telling me that I don't want to say that, but if somebody was to die while I was recording with them, I do think it would become a very popular episode, but I don't want that to happen to you. You're saying to me that it's 0 degrees outside right now.
Yep.
And you're inside of a car that is not running.
No, because it'll make background noise.
So that your dog won't wake up your husband.
Yes.
Kimberly, do you have the keys to the car with you?
Yeah.
Do you want to start it up and warm up the car a little bit while we're talking?
No, I'm okay.
You're okay.
I'm okay. I had it on before we started, so the seats are nice and warm, and I just put my hands under the blanket. I'm good.
All right. Listen, if you start putting your mittens on your feet, tell me, okay? Because I'll make sure we do something. Mittens on your feet, and they still sent you outside. No one was like, hey, that kid might be like have an aneurysm or something. Maybe we should check on that. How old were you, do you think?
I was in grade 3, so likely around, 9 or 10-ish?
Is the answer old enough to know not to put your mittens on your feet?
Well, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you've been let down by a lot of different people. Okay. Jesus Christ. Do your kids know much about your diabetes? Yes,
they do. They learn. They know. Courtney knows how to do a glucagon shot if she has to. She knows how to do everything. And of course, Mackenzie knows how to do stuff when she's home. And she actually, both of them follow my Dexcom.
Oh, that's lovely. Did they ever help you? Like, Mom, are you okay? You ever get texts?
Yes, I get texts from Courtney all the time when she's in school. And I get, from Mackenzie, I get told, hi, Mom, the nurses and me are laughing at you because your numbers are going crazy.
Wait, why is she with the nurse?
She shares it with the nurses up there.
Why is she with the nurses?
Because she is a nurse.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
When they're bored on overnight, like the overnight shift, they'll sit and they'll look at my numbers, and sometimes they'll play bingo with it. And
while they're waiting for injuries to come in off the oil rigs, am I right?
Mostly, not oil rigs, but more of the telephone line people. There's a lot of linesmen up there.
Oh, no kidding. And they fall?
Yeah, they can, yeah.
Hold on a second. I'm going to try to remember that the next time I complain about my job to somebody.
You could be a linesman.
I actually found myself the other day saying, I had to record that podcast 3 times today. But I've never fallen from a pole, so I guess maybe I'm okay. What about just burning out? Have you gone through that?
Oh, yeah. I went through that hardcore.
Tell me.
When I was about 16, 16, 17, 18, I started with the burnout. I wanted to be like my friends. I wanted to drink what they were drinking. I wanted to eat what they were eating. I didn't want to be different anymore. It lasted a long, long time, actually. Likely until I was pregnant with Mackenzie. I was still riding the burnout train.
What did that look like day to day? Were you not using insulin as much as you should have, or what were you doing?
No, I still did all of that. It was more what I was eating, and like I still did my testing. I did my insulin. I did all that kind of stuff, but it was more I was eating the chocolate. I was eating or drinking regular drinks. I was just eating whatever, but then I would use my sliding scale and bring things back down to where they should be, right?
Let me say something where I'm going to sound like a leftist communist hippie, okay? I was in a restaurant last week with Kelly. We do a thing on Saturdays. Since the kids have gotten older, we go to lunch on Saturdays together because, we just work a lot. So we want to make sure that we do something together once a week. So we're having lunch, and I look over at the table next to me. It's a couple and their 2 kids. And the kids are like 4 and 6 maybe, right? And the waitress comes along and says, like, what do you want to drink? And everybody orders their drinks. And for the kids, she goes, do you want chocolate milk or Coke? And I'm like, water? Could you get a little water maybe? And like, I don't know, something that doesn't have 48 grams of sugar in it, maybe? Like, no, like just chocolate milk or Coke. And I have to tell you, like, I had a visceral reaction when the kid ordered a Coke. I was like, why are we letting a 4-year-old drink that? I don't understand that. But I guess everybody, so I said this to my wife, this is in case you want to know what it was like to be at lunch with me. And then I was like, I don't understand this. Like, what people give their kids soda like this, like sugary soda? And she's like, yeah, everybody drinks soda. And I was like, I don't know, man. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, I don't know. No, we never let our kids drink that. I don't know. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. It strikes me very strangely.
I didn't get any sweets or of any sort while I was growing up.
Well, yeah, they didn't know what to do with you because they would have had to start exchanging things off your diet.
Oh, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But I do remember that once, like, I got up early Easter morning and I snuck out and ate all of my brother's Easter chocolate.
Nice.
I got in trouble for that one.
Was he pissed?
I think the parents were pissed more than he was.
Did they give, and you didn't have, did he get Easter chocolate and you didn't?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't think you can do that, though. That's tough.
And then, like, I grabbed a bag of Oreos once and I snuck and ate them under the bed in my parents' room.
Under the bed Oreos?
I ate the Oreos under the bed in my parents' room.
How old were you?
Maybe 5 or 6.
Okay. Do you think these are all responses to diabetes?
Yes, definitely. And being treated differently. And
being treated differently by your family or by others? Or by both?
Even by my family. Because my brother would get the chocolate, but I wouldn't. And yeah.
Yeah. So your family treated you differently. The kids at school did. When you're getting ready to have a baby, you decide to do a little better for the baby, right? Or was this even a thing that you thought, or did the doctor tell you?
When I got pregnant with Mackenzie, they had told me to wait. And I didn't understand why, because nobody ever explained to me A1Cs or numbers or anything like that. Mm-hmm. And being young and dumb and stupid, Darcy and I were like, no, we're ready. Let's get this show on the road. So I got pregnant before I had my appointment with my pregnancy clinic type thing here. Mm-hmm. And the doctor there actually told me that I have to abort Mackenzie.
Wait, because you...
And I was like,
wait.
No, I am not doing that.
Oh, hold on, Kimberly. Let's pick through that. How pregnant are you? You didn't get pregnant on purpose, I imagine?
Oh, no, I did.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Okay, so you didn't...
Yeah, I was ready. I didn't want to wait for the doctor's appointments because they were going to be months. Apparently, when you get pregnant, when you're diabetic, you're supposed to have these great numbers, which nobody informed me of.
And so you get there and the doctor's like, you're going to have these great numbers, but you did you think you could do it?
I was really kind of in shock and didn't really know, but I worked my ass off to do it. And the doctor actually told me twice that I should abort my baby.
What was your A1C at when he, I'm going to guess it was a guy, right?
Yes, it was a guy, and I still remember his name. And He was an awful, awful doctor.
Was his name Dr. Demento?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, I kept Mackenzie, and she turned out like she was 10-2 when she was born, and she was 3 weeks early.
Mm-hmm.
And then for Courtney, we did it the right way. We got the A1C down where it was supposed to be, did all the planning work, and she was 9-9, and she was 4 weeks early.
So what was your A1C when the doctor's like, you have to have an abortion?
I couldn't tell you. I'm assuming it was up in the 8s. I'm guessing, because that's as far back as my current endo could go.
Gotcha.
She couldn't pull up my numbers, likely because we didn't have computers back then for it. It was all paper charting back then.
Okay, so when you say, no, I can handle this, I'll make it, like, where did you get your A1C down to during your first pregnancy?
I couldn't tell you. I don't think they ever told me. They might have told me, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, that's fine.
I couldn't tell you.
What does work harder mean then? Like, what did you do that, like, I don't know, changed your outcomes? The
biggest thing was at that point, I changed to pens, and I started doing the 4 injections a day.
Okay.
Because before that, I was still on only 2 injections. Still at that time in my life, I was still on only 2 injections a day.
Obviously, you don't like needles. So was this a lot about you just didn't want to be doing more injections? And so you just looked at higher blood sugars, or were you not testing? Like, did you not know what they were? You just counting carbs and putting it in?
Yeah, I didn't know any better.
Wow, that's really something. So,
I did not know. The communication got screwed up somewhere. I didn't get put through to the right people.
And so, Kim, after you're told this about the pregnancy, and you're trying harder, but you don't really know what that means. But at what point do you really take control of it and say, I'm going to find out everything I need to know, and I'm going to do the things I need to know, and I'm going to follow through and see if it works? Like, at what age did that happen for you?
26, likely for my second pregnancy, when I got my together, started to make sure I was going to be good for this pregnancy. And then after the kids were born, it was likely 2008 where I really put things into play and started seeing my endo that I have now regularly. And
how did seeing an endo help, if it did?
Oh, she's absolutely amazing. She helped me get numbers figured out. I can text her whenever I need to. I can call her home if I need to. I had my wisdom teeth out, all 4 of them at once, and I was sedated for it.
Mm-hmm.
She told Darcy that he used to call her every hour with my blood sugar. And he actually missed 1 hour calling her, and she was calling us to make sure everything was okay.
Oh,
she's amazing. I don't want to say her name because I don't know if she'd be okay with that, but she'll know who she is if she ever listens to it, because I can't say enough good things about her.
Yeah, see what a difference it makes to find somebody who's engaged with you, cares, focused, understands what they're doing, and is communicative and good at communicating.
Oh, like I will send her Christmas pictures as a family, birthday pictures of all of us. Like each time there's a big event, I send her the pictures and she writes back, and like she's everything I wish I would have had earlier.
Yeah. Tell me why that's so like why that level of intimacy, like sending pictures of your family. Like what do you feel like she's done for you?
She's made it so I can be around with them. Yeah. So I'll hopefully be here longer, and she looks after me. Like, I don't know how to explain it. She's just
a special person.
Amazing.
Yeah.
She's a very special person. And like for 5 or 6 years, Mackenzie and I would do interviews with her students, because she's also a teacher at the university out here.
Mm-hmm.
And every time we would do the interviews, I would tell the students, I said, make sure that you turn out like her. Like be there for your patients, listen to them, understand what they're going through, and not just make snap judgments just because they say one thing wrong or whatever.
Yeah.
Like we're all learning.
Mm-hmm. That's good advice.
And I'm still learning. Like every day I learn something new listening to you.
Oh, I'm glad. Oh, that's wonderful. I really do. I love the idea that you're listening from the beginning, that you're so many years behind where the podcast is right now. Wish I had that experience to have over again. I don't even know. It's funny. You're listening to stuff I probably couldn't even remember that I did at this point.
I just started year 2020. So I'm waiting to see what you're going to do when all the COVID stuff comes up.
Oh, yeah. We talk about COVID for a little bit, huh? I wonder how wrong we got that in the beginning.
I don't know. I'm waiting to see.
Yeah.
And I just listened to the one where you read the story of the Grinch, how the Grinch stole Christmas.
Oh, that became a favorite. I've done that a couple of times since then.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think
good.
so.
I can't wait.
I think there's other Christmas poems in there along the way on Christmas. I wanted to stop doing it, and I got chastised into doing it again this year. And I was like, I said, I don't think people care. And
oh, yes. Yes, we do.
Oh, okay.
Like it made my day. Driving home from work, it made my day.
Oh, I'm glad. Okay. Well, I'll keep doing it then for you, Kimberly, if nobody else.
Oh, thank you.
Of course.
Because I'm a nursing attendant in a long-term care facility.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes listening to that kind of a thing, it just made my day so much better coming home because it was a rough day at work that day.
Oh, it's so nice. Thank you. Is that tough helping people who are older?
It can be when they don't know what they're doing and they're hitting you and they're spitting at you and they're biting you and it can be very hard. But then you just have to think like they don't know what they're doing.
It gets to that point. They really just aren't
They
sure.
have no idea.
Yeah. Happens at all different ages?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have some really good ones, and we have some that are just nasty.
Why don't you put them on one of those moose and just slap the moose in the butt and just let them go?
It's not legal.
Legal. What is legal?
Legal schmeagle. Right.
You're in Canada, the wild west of Iceland. You can do whatever you want. Actually, which one is that? Iceland is warm and Greenland is cold, or is it vice versa? I don't know.
Don't ask me.
Yeah, I should learn more stuff before I talk on the podcast, but it'd be a lot of work. So I'm just going to keep guessing.
You should come to Canada and learn Canada.
I got to come to Canada so little kids make fun of me about my snacks. You know that's going to happen.
On a minus 50 day, you should come to Canada. Step off the plane in your t-shirt.
Listen, you're on the west coast of Canada, am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, I am not flying out there for anything. I don't even know what you'd have to tell me was at the end of that flight for me to get on the plane.
That's not nice.
No, I don't. I'm just telling you, I don't care. That very well may be. I don't want to travel like that. That's my problem. Actually, I think I'm currently ignoring a diabetes association that asked me to come out to Western Canada. I think I owe them.
Really?
I think I owe them an email, but my email is going to say, so far away. Like, seriously, there'd have to be.
I tried to get Chelsea to get you to come out here.
Maybe this is who I'm ignoring. I don't know. Like, it's so far.
Maybe.
It really is. It's the distance that bothers me, not the Canada part. I would love to see Canada one day. I mean, I'm fine with it, seeing it or not seeing it. But if I see it, I'd be happy about it. I'm saying it's the distance. Like, I don't want to be on a plane for 5 hours. Oy.
That's horrible. Not 5 hours.
Oh my God. Doesn't it sound terrible? Are you being sarcastic with me? Because I was agreeing with you. It's horrible.
I was being a little sarcastic.
I mean, I'd need a first class ticket, first of all. I can't be like squished for 5 hours. See, I'm already upset thinking about it. And then like, even somebody said to me one time, like, wouldn't you love to go to Hawaii? I'm like, oh my God, so far away. Like, I got to get on a plane. I got to fly to California. That's 5 hours. Then I get on another plane and fly again to another place far away. For who, for what? Ricky Waters once said after the Philadelphia Eagles gave him a lot of money and he didn't try to catch a ball. That's a bizarre statement from me. But anybody who lived through it, the Eagles were a bad football team, and they finally spent some money on a running back. They got this guy named Ricky Waters. And in his first game, I think they were losing. In fairness, had he caught the ball or not caught the ball, I don't believe anything would have changed. And as this pass is sent to him, it's a little out of his reach, but if he just would have reached out, maybe laid out for it, he could have caught it. And he didn't. He just watched it go by like, nah. And then afterwards, the media asked him, you didn't make much of an effort for that ball. And he goes, for who? For what? And I was like, oh, I feel very good about the money we just spent on him. For who, for what?
He's very happy with it.
Yeah. How about for everybody watching the game and for all the money we gave you? And I know I didn't give it to him, but it felt like I did when he said he wasn't going to try that hard. Again, this has nothing to do with you. But I can't, I mean, Hawaii would have to be Hawaii plus, I don't know what else you could offer me at this point, but it would need to be something. A lot of like money, sex. Like I'd have to come back with a perfect hand. You'd have to promise it to me. All the things that people love. Like there'd have to be a free car there when I got there that would be back at my house when I got home. It's just so fucking far. I don't know. I hate it. I did a talk once in Oklahoma where the wind comes right behind the rain. You might know the place. And I had to fly into Texas and then drive like an hour to where I gave the talk. And the whole time I was in the car, I was like, ugh. Why is the airport not closer to where I'm going?
I had to fly into LA in November.
Okay.
And this is another thing, like one of my fears with being diabetic and everything. I was absolutely terrified to go through customs and security and all that stuff, right?
Okay.
And Darcy knew this beforehand. So him being the jerk face that he can be sometimes, that I love, I'll just put that in there. He would watch border security and how all these people get caught taking stuff across the border. And I'm like, Darcy, this is not doing very good for me. And I have to cross the border in a week.
Do you ever call him Mr. Darcy?
No, I don't.
From the movie?
No.
What movie do I mean? It's the one with the British people.
Oh, I have no idea, but I'd never call him Mr. Darcy. Isn't that
Love Actually, or is it the other one? Oh, damn
I was going to say...
My reference for things today is off. I couldn't remember Strange Brew. Wonder what's
Isn't it My Fair Lady? With Mr. Darcy?
No,
I don't know.
No. Hold on a second.
I have no idea. Oh, now you're pulling it up.
It's Pride and Prejudice.
Oh.
But
well,
you're like,
he does not fit into that era at all. So no.
That's why it might be funnier. Consider it. If you would. Think about it. You don't have to do it, but get back to me if you do it.
Yeah, I'll go in and wake him up and say, Mr. Darcy, it's time to get up.
And he'll be like, listen, Jane Austen, would you like flip out if you said that to your husband? He's like, I know that's from that Jane Austen novel, Pride and Prejudice. And I
would be very shocked if he knew what that was. Beyond shocked if he knew that reference.
Looks like there was a Mr. Darcy film in 2023. Does not look like it was good or popular. Yeah, sorry. This IMDb makes everything seem the same. This is like something somebody made on their phone, I think. You guys have phones there, right?
Yeah. Well, we have cell phones. We don't have a landline. We don't want one.
What do you got, like the iPhone 2 or something like that?
No, mine's a 14.
Oh, seriously?
Judgy a bit there.
Fancy. How do they do in the cold, though? Don't they like shut off when they get real cold?
They could. Mine hasn't yet, so.
Kim Burley, you are lovely. We are at the end of our time. Have I made all your dreams come true? Because at the beginning you said you were having a fangirl situation and I didn't let you talk about that.
Yes, you have.
Why? How is that possible?
I don't know. It just seems like you're like big and famous and exciting to talk to, and I got to talk to you.
Was that true? Was I exciting to talk to?
You were everything I thought you would be. How's that?
Well, I didn't let you down. That's what I'm hearing.
And I knew you were going to pick on Canada, so I knew that going in. So I was like, okay.
Listen, I'm like those kids and the snacks. I see an easy target and I go for it. I can't, by the way, I'm so sorry that I know it's such a long time ago, but it's horrible. You know what I mean? Like just kids just looking for anything that's different and picking at you about it. It's because it really does sound like it's stuck with you for a long time.
It did. It was mental abuse in a way. Yes.
No, of course. No, it sucks. It really does. You don't have that problem anymore, though, in your adult life, right?
No, I got good friends. My family's amazing now. And yeah.
That's good. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad for you. What's the best advancement in diabetes that you've seen in your lifetime?
Definitely say CGM followed by pump.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does the CGM change things for you?
Oh, no more finger pokes. Hello? My poor fingers have been able to heal.
But not about the numbers. It's more about the respite for your fingers.
Well, and the numbers. But you got to think of it both ways here. Like my poor fingers after 7-8 times a day of being poked 365 times a year.
They just hurt.
They were in pretty bad shape.
How long did it take for them to kind of rebound?
I don't know. They look nice now. I'm looking at them right now, and they're looking pretty good. No little black holes in them, and it's nice.
How long have you been on a CGM?
Well, I went Dexcom, then Libre, and then back to Dexcom. So I'd say about 7 years, likely.
Okay, and your fingers are nice now. No black.
Yeah,
you have those black dots you can get in those eventually, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But there's no more of them, and it's awesome to see numbers as they come up, right? Like,
yeah.
Unless you're me and who has number anxiety, then it's not so good. But
but it's better than not knowing, right?
Definitely better than not knowing.
Good. Okay.
And especially when, like, I'm way down in Southwest Calgary where I work. Mackenzie's 2.5 hours away from home.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's good for them to be able to see what's going on. And like, Darcy's when he's at work, he's only 20 minutes away from me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good for them all to know what's going on and how to help and where to help and who to call. And
for safety, if nothing else. Okay, so are we going to call this one Strange Brew or Mrs. Darcy? Let's think about it, because you are technically Mrs. Darcy. So, Strange Brew might be good. I don't know. I'll figure it out later. Don't worry about it. We got plenty of time.
Likely about 6 months.
Oh, yeah, about 6 months. Yeah, I've got plenty of time. I'll literally hear myself 6 months from now say this, and I'll be like, I wonder what we are going to call it. And then I'll decide then. But this is very nice. I appreciate you doing this very much, Kimberly, sincerely. Can you hold on a second for me?
Yeah.
Thank you. US Med sponsored this episode of the Juicebox Podcast. Check them out at usmed.com/juicebox or by calling 888-721-1514. Get your free benefits check and get started today with US Med. A huge thank you to one of today's sponsors, Gvoke Glucagon. Find out more about Gvoke HypoPen at gvokeglucagon.com/juicebox. You spell that GVOKEGLUCAGON.com/juicebox. Pricing for Juice Cruise 2025 is still as it was when we launched it for a few more weeks. But then after a certain date in October, it's mid-October sometime, the price could fluctuate. So if you've been thinking about coming, now is the perfect time to put down your deposit, because after the midpoint, I should know the day, but I don't. But after the midpoint in October, I can't guarantee that the price you're seeing now will be the price that you'll pay. Juice Cruise 2025. Like I said, there's links at juiceboxpodcast.com and then right down there in the show notes of your podcast player. Come along, have a great vacation, meet a bunch of wonderful people. Juiceboxpodcast.com. A diabetes diagnosis comes with a lot of new terms, and you're not going to understand most of them. That's why we made Defining Diabetes. Go to juiceboxpodcast.com, up into the menu, and click on Defining Diabetes to find the series that will tell you what all of those words mean. Short, fun, and informative, that's Defining Diabetes. Hey kids, listen up. You've made it to the end of the podcast. You must have enjoyed it. You know what else you might enjoy? The private Facebook group for the Juicebox Podcast. I know you're thinking, Facebook, Scott, please. But no, Beautiful group, wonderful people, a fantastic community. Juicebox Podcast, Type 1 Diabetes on Facebook. Of course, if you have Type 2, or you're touched by diabetes in any way, you're absolutely welcome. It's a private group, so you'll have to answer a couple of questions before you come in. We'll make sure you're not a bot or an evildoer. Then you're on your way. Thank you so much for listening. I'll be back very soon with another episode of the Juicebox Podcast. If you're not already subscribed or following the podcast in your favorite audio app, like Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please do that now. Seriously, just to hit follow or subscribe will really help the show. If you go a little further in Apple Podcasts and set it up so that it downloads all new episodes, I'll be your best friend. The episode you just heard was professionally edited by Wrong Way Recording. WrongWayRecording.com. If you have a podcast or you're getting ready to drop an album and you need someone to, do that magic stuff that you don't understand, go find Rob.